All right, all right. So, why don't you go ahead and just let the world know who you are, just in case there's people who don't know who you are, what you got going on.
Antoine Alexander Davis. Um, I'm a content t-shirt design creator and also a taco caterer, so to speak. So that's what some of the my entrepreneurship. That's some of the things that I do.
For all us foodies out there, we definitely want to hear how you what got you into the taco catering business. What got you started to selling your tacos?
As a kid, I used to work at a grocery store, and a lot of people was always buying tacos every day, nonstop. And so that was like one of the first things when I moved out on my own. I learned how to cook, and I learned how to cook it pretty good. And when I was dating, all the girls that I let get a taste, they like man, they loved it. And my friends that would come around to the apartment, they loved it too. And so from there, I started selling it at work, at my job, at the grocery store, to my coworkers, and not only my coworkers, but then customers too. And so fast forward maybe 7, 8 years after I did that, it was just a quick little hobby while I was at work, quick hustle. Um, Fast forward 7, 8 years from there, one of my best friends, Rajay Johnson, he had started his food business, and me being a good friend that I am, man, I was always trying to help him out as much as I can, volunteer my time. And from there, man, he had told me like, man, why don't you, you had good tacos, man. Why don't you try to sell them yourself, man? Try to make some money yourself. So then from there, I had to come up with a name, a brand, or whatever. So the brand was nothing. I feel like I'm a good mixture of my mother and my father. So my dad's last name is Alexander. Mother's last name is Davis. My last name is Davis also. And so from there, I combined and shortened both of the last names, Alex Dave. And then, I was never really, in the beginning, I was never really too good with money. And then I was procrastinator too. So I had the idea, had the motivation behind the idea, but didn't never really want to take the risk on the money tip to do it. So one of my very good friends, who's also the producer of my clothing brand, Jordan Mutherland, he gave me, a quick small investment. Like, man, look, man, I'm tired of you talking about this food, and I know it's good. So here you go. See what you can do with it. So he started off my first day. Man, and hasn't looked back since. So I was very thankful. I made sure I paid him back because I don't like owing no brother. I don't like owing my people. So I made sure I paid him back, man. But I ain't never looked back since, man. And if it wasn't for those influences, there probably would be no Alex Dave catering taco. There always be Tony Lowe's tacos, but it wasn't be the Alex Dave brand behind it. So I'm very thankful for those motivations and those influences.
I definitely love the point where you had described the challenges you had to face, especially when it came to handling the financial aspect and being very active, because that can actually be like the main challenges that anybody get into, especially if they really didn't have too much of a business background to start off with. You want to expound a bit on that one?
There is no truer statement, more factual statement than it takes money to make money. You have to have some type of capital to initially invest. Like I said, I wasn't good with saving money. I never learned how to save money, and then I never had enough money to save in the first place. So, uh, and I probably kind of did, but I didn't know how to prioritize with it. So those are some beginning hurdles and challenges when trying to start a business or even a hustle, or however you want to put it and categorize it. Those are some challenges, but like I said, if it wasn't for my friends, man, I don't know where I would be. but I needed those their intricate parts into the system that created me. Uh, for for others, I don't know. I wouldn't know if they have those type of friends, or maybe they. If you don't have those type of friends, maybe you'll have that motivation in you to save it and put it forth yourself. Um, I ended up putting it forth myself, but it took the initial like, hey, here you go, pushing me out there. Okay, making me show me what you got type of motivation. So, and that's what it took for me. Everyone's different, so I can only speak for what worked and what helped me. But yeah, definitely, if you can do it, a warning thing would be like, hey, you need money to make money. So don't. I would say, don't too much worry about that initial investment, as long as you believe in what you're doing and your product, because you'll definitely make that back and some, and continuous some, um, if you believe in what you're doing and love what you're doing, because I love it, man. I love it.
Did that ultimately cause you to go ahead and expand into your clothing brand as well?
In actuality, the clothing idea was before had came before the cafe catering idea. Even though I had previously sold tacos before, not on that big of a scale, but it was actually an idea before. Me and like I said, my producer, my business partner, my brother Jordan Munderland, we had been in the lab, man, at Euro Effects. That's the lab. That's the office. That's the business. We had been in the lab, man, for months before. Me just being around him, and also that BIC culture, business investments coalition, uh, that whole building, a whole group of business hustlers turned business people, business men and women, being in that culture and being around my brother, seeing all these creatives and all these people that go out there and get it on their own, it motivated me in a sense. But to pinpoint on the clothing brand, I was always coming up with different ideas and messages to put on different clothing before I'd had a clothing line. And so, fast forward 3 months after I started the catering cafe business, it was they were starting to open a store to showcase Flint creatives, whether it be health and beauty, whether it be clothing, whether it be books, whatever. And the owner of the store, Devontae and Wilson, they had came to me like, "Hey, man, we see what you do with Jordan. You and Jordan always coming up with cool ideas. Why don't you bring some of those ideas and put them in the store, those designs, and put them in the store?" And so from there, I was like, okay, cool. I'm 3 months in with this food thing. I could take some of that money from there, and some of the money I'm making from there, invest it into this clothing brand, and that really took off. It took it a few months, but it really took off. And like I said, some more people, seeing what you're doing, seeing something in you that you probably don't see in yourself, and motivating me and influencing me to branch out and do some more. And I'm thankful for them. Thankful for them too, man. That's been great to me too, man. I cannot complain, man. It's been a blessing. So yeah.
What would you say to those who would have that same mindset to go ahead and create something and bring out something to this world? What would you have to say to them?
If you got an idea and you think if you got an idea, you think it could be something. If you got an idea, you think it could be something, man. We'll put it out there, man. See what you can do with it. The world can only say no. They can only say no. Um, I've had plethora of ideas, man. Like within both of my businesses, hustles, and I've always, okay, ran them through, okay, a thought process, okay, seeing who and what market, how I can market it, and what's the market for it, um, and I, most of them have hit. Some of them haven't, but I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not that procrastinator anymore that I once was. Because when you get a taste of that, I guess, success, uh, you you want to continue that. I don't want to say like I get off on it or whatever. It's not like a drug to me, but when you do get it and you see the positivity and the culture it brings, you I personally want more of that. I definitely want more of that. I want to continue to create messages that people really love and feel a sense of belonging to. I wanna continue to serve people with my tasty tacos and get those reviews, whether it be good or bad. Because I've had critiques, I've had constructive criticism with the food and the clothing, and that comes with a business anyway. So, but to get back on point, man. If if there's any way I could motivate someone or uh, inspire someone, I like my biggest advice is to market yourself, market whatever you're doing, believe in what you're doing before you even put it out there, and go from there. Because, like I said, the world can only say no. And, don't don't worry about what others say. You got to do what's good for you. You really have to do what you feel is right. What you feel is right. Um, and if you feel it's right, man, see if others feel the same way. You'll never know how many people really feel the same way as you until you throw that out there. Never know. I was like, man, I was semi popular growing up, but now doing what I do or creating what I've created, I see a lot of more people that really like, man, they always, hey man, I love what you're doing. People that should know my name is Antoine, they call me Alex because they see the brand. They identify with the brand. They love the brand. They patron the brand. So, um, telling you, man, just throw your idea out there and see what you can do with it. See what you can do with it.
And how can we get in contact with you? If we have an event going and we want to utilize your catering services to feed the community, or how do we get in contact with you if we want to shop for your clothing brand?
If you want to do the catering, my name is Antoine, Alex Dave on Facebook, Alex Dave 810 on Instagram. Hit me up on there. That's as far as like catering and clothing. If you want to do it, clothing through there. If you want to see the clothing, there is not a website just yet, but there are clothing pages on Instagram and Facebook. It will be Alex Dave Clothing on each one. Alex Dave Clothing. Of course, on Facebook, it's not a username, so it's just the whole name. And then on Instagram, it's all one together, and it's Alex Dave, ALEXDAV Clothing. And as simple as that, man. I'm always open I'm always open to doing whatever if I can. I always want to bring more to whatever the event is, bring more exposure to the event, especially most of the time it's always a positive. I mean, I never do nothing that's not positive, so it's always a positive thing that I'm trying to do and bring more exposure to the event, and hopefully bring some tasty tacos or some creative messages in my clothing to it. You can also find my clothing also downtown in the Comma bookstore. I don't know the address offhand, but downtown Flint on Second Street, next door to Magnificlips, kind of by the Mott Bakery that's downtown on Saginaw Street. But Saginaw Street and Second Street, nonetheless. You might catch me catering, vending some tacos here and there. Big shout out to the Loft. They really put me on the map for the catering, the tacos, and a lot of different promoters around here. You know it's the Golden Leaf Club, Mona's Mona's Cocktail Lounge, and the hookah, not lit hookah. Yeah, used to be lit hookah. Now it's Excel It Hookah Lounge. You can catch me a lot of those different places. Used to could catch me a lot of those different places, but yeah, man, yeah, that's about it.